Good afternoon, everybody. Of course. Hey, girl. Hi, guys. I hope you're all having a great Saturday so far. 5 o'clock indeed. If you are working on South African time. If you're in England, the time is 4 o'clock. And if you're in the East Coast, it is 11 o'clock. Hi, Alex. Guys, have you ever been like nervous? Like just out of nowhere, Jay, you're like, oh, where are these nerves coming from? Okay. Oh, thank you, Atli. Okay, I see Makgotso just joined. Rosemary.
Hi.
Hi. How
How
are
are you?
you?
I'm good.
You
Thank
look so
you.
pretty.
Thank you. I was like, let me look cute for you because I've been on lockdown and
Yes.
what's underneath it? It's scary. It's
Yeah,
so
no, you look
scary,
so
bro.
beautiful. I like the whole accessory thing going on and the
You know, I
headband.
gotta represent, even though we're not at home. We still, you know.
Yeah, no, but thank
Can
you
you
so
see
much.
me, man?
I
Is
can
the
see you,
light
yeah.
funny or is it dodgy? I don't know. I'm in a funny
Oh,
place.
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Okay.
Yeah, you're fine.
What's good?
Nothing much, man. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so
Thank you for
excited.
having me, baby.
I'm actually nervous. I'm like, yay, calm
Me
down.
too. I'm actually a little bit nervous. Like, I don't do lives really. I don't really. So I'm just like, oh my gosh.
No, but I think you've got so much to share, so it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I can't wait.
So I'm gonna introduce you to our viewers today. So I'm joined with a trained actress. Oh, see, the nerves are coming out. So I'm joined by a trained actress. She's been on so many productions on our TV screens. So Cool and Partners, My Perfect Family, Isdingo, Muvango,
Yo, you did your homework.
I Miss Tunzi, Saint Agnes, which is on Showmax, and many more. The list is endless, guys. It is none other than the beautiful Makgotso M. Thank you once again for joining me today.
You're welcome. You're welcome,
Yeah.
Nikki.
How do I say your surname? Is it
So my surname is so complicated because firstly, my surname is spelled wrong on my birth certificate, on my passport, on my ID. It's
Yo?
spelled wrong, even with my dad, even me and my sister.
Yeah.
So it's spelled as Munyemiketu. My dad is Munyemukatu. It's actually Munyemuratu. Munyemuratu. It's like, so that's why I'm like, Makgotso M. Just too many different versions.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Okay. Well, now we know. All right. So we're just gonna jump into it and go straight to when you realized your passion for acting and when your journey into pursuing this started.
Just started. So basically, I grew up in Alberton, Mayberry Park. And then I went to a primary school called Albertview, and they were hosting a beauty pageant. And I remember I won, and it was so nice because I got the personality and I got the crown, and I was like,
Yeah.
and I just loved the stage. But like going forward, my mom would take me to like acting, I mean, modeling school stuff, but something just didn't click. So,
Yeah.
and I was short as well. I'm 5'1", 1 meter, 154 meters. I'm so small.
Yeah.
So modeling was never gonna work out.
Yeah.
And then after that, I used to watch Generations when I was like a little kid. You know, when you watch Generations when it was like Cream Morocca,
Yeah.
you know, like the original cast of Generations. And I was
Absolutely.
watching the behind the scenes, and I saw the set, I saw the actors, and I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do this. So I was like, oh my gosh, theater. That same feeling I got of being on stage from the beauty pageant,
Yeah.
I can actually express that a lot more with drama. You know,
Yeah.
so I like drama, everything drama at school, drama clubs. I did drama in university. I do drama for a living.
Yeah.
I did it forever. You know?
So you did theater while you were in school.
Yeah, so basically how it happened is, so I grew up in South Africa and England, moved to England when I was 11, and then when you get to year 10, you have to pick your GCSEs. So I picked drama was amongst the things that I picked, and then I also did it in my A levels, and then I also did drama and theater studies in university.
Okay.
So in sort of all my stages of school, I've just sort of like done drama.
Drama, yeah. It was never like film and television. It was mostly like
No, in university, I did a joint honors degree.
okay.
So I did theater and film and television. So with that, we're given an option of doing two subjects essentially as one degree, and it's just called a joint honors degree in Brunel University.
Yes.
Brunel, no one knows what Brunel is, but yeah.
Okay, so now having studied in England, would you say, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, obviously you haven't studied in South Africa, but would you say that there's a significant difference in the
Let me
education?
tell you something, Nadine.
Uh-huh.
Because I moved back to South Africa in 2014, right? Because after university, when I was like, because I moved to England at 11, and when I was 22, I was like, Mommy, I want to go back home. And my mom was like, finish university first. And then when I finished university, I went back to South Africa. And yo, I learned so much. Like, people at home are so talented. I was reading plays and books. Like,
Yeah.
people, actors at home know their stuff. Like, I got to work with the likes of Mam Tembin Charlie. Oh my gosh, I don't want to start mentioning names because it's going to get
Yeah.
so but all these people, like, and I learned so much. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, so with acting as well, it doesn't stop at school. It's a
Yeah.
continuous thing. As you meet new actors, as you meet people, as you evolve and grow as a person, you're learning, and you're not only a learner of like school wise. Even if you can't afford to go to school, buy books, read books. There's so many. If people want to know what books to read, holler me. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah, but like with acting, it's a continuous. You're always learning. That's what I found with the acting craft, is that you're always learning from other actors, from my managers, my agents,
Yeah.
from my peers. Yo, my peers, yeah. It's like, yo, like these Tangazami, they're so talented, hey, and I'm just constantly learning like that. So I think if you want to do acting, or if you're an actress, I think that you should always know that the learning never stops. Like my agent,
Yeah.
you know what my agent used to make me do? We'd
But
be in Rosebank, you know, I'm trying to have my food and my red wine, you know, and then he'll be like staring at people, and he'd make me people watch, and it was so annoying. But like even something as simple as just watching people,
yeah.
you learn so much as an actress, you know, because it's so hard to act like yourself. When
Yeah.
you put a
Uh-huh.
camera, right? And someone is like, so act. And then it seems so stiff and stagnant. It's hard. So you have to give yourself the opportunity to learn always.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. And now having studied and being a trained actress that's now gone into working, what would you say is the importance of training as an actor?
It's important. It's important. It's like a soccer player, right?
Yeah.
You can have talent as a soccer player, né? But if you're not, like, you don't have an academy, if you're not rehearsing, if you're not practicing, that skill can't be refined. Do you know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And so you can have natural talent, you know, or maybe sometimes you're not that talented. I've seen people that are not that talented get really good because they learn it. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I just think that, yeah, you just have to just give yourself the room to always learn,
Yeah.
basically.
And grow.
Mm,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
grow for sure.
Someone saying Ezra Makgotso saying had the pleasure of editing a trailer for a short film she starred in. She's amazing.
Thank you. Which short form was it again? Is
Yeah,
it, you got
just
a
tell us which
question
short film it was.
or?
No.
Oh,
No, we're just waiting for him to say which short film it was. But what were
oh
you
okay.
saying? Were you saying something?
No, carry on. Carry
Oh,
on.
okay. Okay, so then you studied, and then did you do any work while in England before you came back to South Africa?
No. So while I was in England, funny enough, I didn't know how to pursue this acting thing. Like I was absolutely clueless. Because I did it in school and I did it like in clubs outside of school, like drama clubs outside of school. But professionally, I
Yeah,
didn't really know how to go about it. And when I was in university, I had my lecturer Broderick, fantastic. He had a PhD in
yeah.
theatre studies and drama. I was like,
Okay.
you can have a PhD in drama?
Wow.
What? Yeah, I didn't even know. I didn't know. And then yeah, he was just basically telling me that, how to go about it. Like I need to have an agent, and then
Yeah,
after getting an agent, you audition and then so on and so forth. And so after university, when I started pursuing acting professionally, that was in South Africa. Because after university, I just went straight to South Africa because like that's where I fell in love with the craft of acting. So I wanted to go where I started,
yeah,
basically. But yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He says an MVF film Umphefumulo.
Yes, that was I loved the director for film, and I loved doing that, and I love NVFP
And
projects because they do a lot of stuff
NFBF.
where,
Yeah,
yeah, like they were doing stuff where they were helping upcoming female directors, and so it was always nice to be part of those projects because you learn. It's like a great place to learn
yeah,
and be a student unashamedly without feeling like you're stupid or whatever.
yeah,
But yeah.
definitely. So you went back home, and what was your first ever professional production? And what was
So,
that about?
my lighting is so bad. Can you see me? Must I move?
I can. It's like
Oh,
it was a shadow.
no. Sorry, let me just sit so you can see my face.
Okay, yeah,
So
that's
basically, my first project in South Africa was a movie called Ayanda, produced by Terry
oh
Peto.
yes.
Yes, and directed by Sarah Blecher. I was playing a character called Lip. Oh my gosh, you're taking me back, Fry.
That
You're getting me.
was that your first? Oh wow, okay.
That was 2014. We shot it in 2014, and I think it came out in 2015. And I remember because prior to
Sorry.
that, no one was hiring me in South Africa. I was at home for a year, and I just wasn't getting work. And so my agent sent a picture to the people that were casting for Ayanda, and
Yeah.
then they were like, because they wanted a girl, they were very specific at the sort of role that they wanted. So I was too light in complexion for the lead. So
Yeah.
it's just like they didn't even want to consider me because it's just like they had a specific, which is totally fine and it's
Yeah.
necessary. People need to see themselves on the TV screen, but that's a different conversation. But yeah, that was necessary. So, but my agent was like, okay, fine, but just see her anyways. And then I remember I'm like I've just come from England and I see Terry Peto and Mamtati Mushesh and I have to audition for them. And I was like, oh my, I was so scared, but I was so excited. And then obviously I didn't get the lead. Fulu got it. And she's an amazing actress and she has a movie that's out.
Yes. Yeah.
I think it's coming on. Anyways, I don't know. But yeah, and then I played this character of Liv, and it was just so exciting because it was my first time like being on set on location. Do you know what I mean? Like it was just
Yeah.
my first time, and it was just exciting, and I learned.
Hmm.
Yeah, you learn as you go.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay. Was it a supporting role? Just a
It was a supporting role. So do you want me to tell you about her? Sorry,
yes, please.
I'm so excited because I'm like reminiscing. I love to
Please.
reminisce.
Yeah.
So basically, so Liv is like she's a street chick, so she knows things and she can connect you to people. She knows people that know people, basically. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So then, she's a hustler. So
Mhm.
I've just come straight from England. I grew up in the burbs. I don't know what it is to be a hustler, and I was like, oh, how can I do this? And then I remember I went to Yeovil because that's where she was from, and I sort of like
Yeah.
the feel of Yeovil and what Yeovil is. You know what I mean? And I think that that's just part of the actor's toolbox. Because as an actor, you have a toolbox, and you have to always like be doing research. There's things that you do
Yeah.
to get into character. So one of the things that I did is that I went to the place where the character lived, just got the vibe of the place, because it would have like given me an indication of the sort of person that she is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, I did that, and yeah, and it was good, and it was a 2-day shoot, and I couldn't sleep the day before my first day on set. And it was exciting.
Because you're so excited.
Yeah, for sure. I was like, oh my gosh. But yeah.
Okay, and then what came next? Was it My Perfect Family?
Yes, My Perfect Family and Ayanda happened at the same time-ish. And Ayanda, My Perfect Family, sorry, it was my first time in a studio with multicam. And I was like, "Ooh." That was exciting. I saw a
Yeah.
set like for the first time, like an actual set.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what were the name of the studios? I forgot, but in Joburg. And I remember it was cool. I was playing Tando Tabete. The character's name was Tando as well, actually, her
Yeah.
best friend. So that was fun. I was like, ooh, this is fun.
Okay, and then you did Sokulan Partners.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you said something in an interview about how you've been accepted for everything. You've been accepted for your talent. Basically, nothing else but your talent. What did you mean by that?
I think I struggled initially personally, this is my personal story. I know that everyone's stories are different,
Yeah.
you know, and I'm not taking away from anyone's story or adding.
Yeah, of
I'm just
course.
saying.
Yeah.
But for me, it was a thing where I just wasn't getting hired. Like, people were not hiring me, and I didn't know what the problem was. And I remember I stopped auditioning for adverts completely because there was this one casting director lady. She was just like, she doesn't look like anything. She doesn't look South African. I just don't know where to put her. It's like people just saw my face and it's just like, they just didn't know what to do with me. And I
Yeah.
auditioned for a really popular soap and they were like, my lips are big. Like, it was just so hard to break into the industry. And then finally, when
Yeah.
I had the opportunity to prove, myself, I mean, that's a weird thing. It was just weird for me because it's just like I'm South African. My
Yeah.
mom is from KZN. My dad, Timofey, from Limpopo. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, what do you mean I don't look South African?
Yeah.
I don't understand. Like, what do you mean? I don't know. So that was weird for me. But eventually, it happened, and then there were struggles, and then I was like, oh, and then I moved to England. I moved back to England.
So you basically struggled with just your physical appearance, which shouldn't network. Me? Okay. Thank you for joining, everybody that's joined. We're just having some technical difficulties, but Rosemary is saying she knows how that feels. Yeah, girl, we spoke about this. Was it my network? No, it's not. No, it's not, right? I don't know. Part two, I will incorporate that into my questions.
Sorry, that was my fault.
Oh, okay, no
That was
problem, no problem. Are
I'm
you good
back.
now?
Yeah, I'm good now.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, it's gonna
Okay,
get
so
a
then
bit
you went through
skewed.
the struggle. No, that's fine.
Okay. Yeah, sorry.
Okay. No, that's fine.
Mhm.
So, okay, so then you went through the struggle of she doesn't look South African. And then
Yeah.
at some point you overcame it, I guess. Whereas I was speaking to Rosemary the other day, and she was telling me about how she auditioned for all these things, and there was one specific girl who got all three of the roles in one week at the same time, and it happened to be you.
Is
So
it? Can I explain that actually? Do you know what's so weird about
okay, wait, I'm losing you. I'm lo- no, I don't even know what's happening right now. Wait, okay, wait, what's going on? Can you hear me? I think we're back. It's whew, it's like free, like one of those Zoom calls. I heard bits and pieces.
should I try again?
Yeah, let's try again.
So basically, I auditioned for my things. Like, I didn't audition at the same time. I literally auditioned at different times of the year. It just so happened that everything came out at the same time. I promise. Like, honestly,
No,
honestly.
it wasn't even in a bad way. It was just to just speak about the journey and how sometimes when it's your time, and when it's not. But when
Yeah,
God decides, okay, this is for you, He will bring the blessings in abundance. And
yeah.
so that's basically what we were speaking about. And she's saying right now, she says you're amazing, um, and you are. So we're
Thank
glad
you.
that you overcame that whole thing of you don't look South African, because then, yeah.
I
Okay, so
did,
then,
but then other obstacles, like there's so much politics in the entertainment industry as a whole. And at home, it's a lot of politics, man. It's a lot.
yeah,
Which kind of ruin it. Like takes away the fun a bit. But then you find a way, you make a way, you maneuver, you survive. It's life, you know.
yeah.
Yeah.
No man. Okay, so then during that period of time, you got Istingo, or I don't know which one
hmm
came first. Was it Muvango or Istingo?
Mwango came first, but then I shot Istingo first. So I auditioned for Mwango first, and I got the role, and then I auditioned for
Okay.
Istingo, and then but we started quicker with Istingo. And neither Istingo and Mwango didn't
Yeah.
know that I was working. You know what I mean? Because they didn't know. And then when everything came out, the producers and these things like, you can't be in two soaps at one time. I was like, listen, I'm a working actress. I need to pay my bills. My contract does not say that I can't. So, yeah,
Yeah.
you know. Mm.
So how was the experience on Muvango and this? Well, yeah, let's start with Muvango.
I love Mubango. I love the directors that I was working with. I love the storyline, even though I was a bit scared because I was playing a chick that was bipolar. And she was really like, Onika was a bit like much. And I didn't want people to get the wrong idea of bipolar because
Yeah.
there's bipolar one and there's bipolar two. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Obviously, one is more severe than the other. So I was a bit worried that I would do that. So I was like, okay, let me just play the worst case scenario, but not to say that that's bipolar full stop.
Yeah.
There's like, not everyone will act like Hanukkah. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
I didn't want people to think that. But I had fun with that. I had fun with Hanukkah. I love the directors that I was working with on the one set at the
Mm-hmm.
time. They just sort of allowed me to have fun with it. I loved the cast. Everyone was so welcoming. Raphael was cool to work with.
Mm-hmm.
It was cool. It was nice. And there was politics.
Politics.
And then I moved on. And then Istingo. I loved Istingo because the cast welcomed me so much. I worked with them. She played Dorota at the time.
Yes, yeah.
Place Chava, and they literally everyone made me feel like a part of the family.
Yeah.
So and this thing, or like I think it's but like they had such amazing actors, and it just taught me to improvise on set. It
Mm-hmm.
taught me to have fun, a bit more, and to bring yourself. Even the directors, I remember I was working with this one director called Intabi, and she was like, when we're rehearsing, she likes what I do, but when it's action, I become stiff. And I was like, really? And then and then she like they were just you were learning as you go. Such amazing people to work with.
Yeah.
It was really
And
yeah.
how was it
I like.
playing your character of Ukamo? She had so much drama.
Gamu, do you know the thing with Gamu, yeah? I felt like I had to make up a lot of the backstory for Gamu because I
Yeah.
remember that at the time because okay, so you see, this is a rebellious person, and I
Yeah.
asked the producer at the time, and I was like to him, Rowan, I forgot his surname, like Rowan. I was like to him, so why is she rebellious? And then he was just like, because she just is. And I'm like, no, no one is ever just
Yeah.
is. You know what I'm saying? There's no such thing. There's a why to everything. There's a reason to everything.
Yeah.
So I
Mm-hmm.
had to make up my backstory to understand her. Because as an actress or an actor, you can't afford to judge your characters. Otherwise, you don't do justice to the
Yeah.
character. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? Even if you're playing Hitler, you can't judge. You
Yeah.
must understand. It's like that's
Yeah.
hard. Imagine playing a pedophile. You know what I mean? That's the thing here about acting, that you
Yeah.
have to sort of empathize with your character. You know what I mean? No
Yeah.
matter who it is. It's not a reflection of your beliefs,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to be able to make each character you play, turn them into a human being.
Yeah.
Like, why are you justified in doing what you're doing? Everyone thinks you're trash, but why are you doing trash
Yeah.
things? You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get you. And I guess if you have more understanding of your character and why they're that way, you can
Mm-hmm.
your character better.
Yes, like backstories help. I know sometimes, like when we talk about like doing your homework as an actor, so creating a backstory for your character. Who were their parents? Where did they go to school? Where did they grow up? What is their favorite food?
Yeah.
Even though you're not gonna see that in the film, but it helps you as an
Yeah.
actress bring this character to life. So there's times where I've not done my research. Maybe I'm doing a soft tape for my manager, and I've just sort of like
Yeah.
quickly done it. She can tell. She's like, that's not it. And I'm like, I can't cheat with my manager. Or like working with Amanda Lane, for example, because I can do this thing where I can like make my ears tear up, but
Yeah.
even that doesn't work. You know what I mean? It's just like if it's like Amanda could always see if I was being truthful or not.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you could tell. I could not fool Amanda Lane. She directed his twins.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Love Mandolin. Love her.
Yeah.
Okay. So now that we're speaking about how you play your characters, do you have any acting techniques that you use to prepare for your roles?
Do you know what, Net? It evolves. Because at first, when I came out of school, there's this practitioner called, I can never say his name, Konstantin Stanislavski.
Yes. Yeah, I struggle too.
Hey, just Google practitioners and it'll give you a list on Google.
Yeah.
I just call him Stan, I just
Yeah,
call him Stan.
Yeah, that one.
Stan, Stan, my guy. That was the first initial technique that I really liked. The method acting. What if, it taught me empathy. What if you were in the situation, how would you be? I've played characters that I don't necessarily. I played a prostitute, and before I played a prostitute, I had an idea of prostitute. Then I
Yeah.
played one, and then my idea of prostitutes totally changed. I was able to relate with a prostitute. I was like, oh, you're human, just like me. So, yeah. So Magic Eve. But yeah, method acting is a very famous one. But over time, it evolves because sometimes certain techniques don't work. It's like as an actor, you have to have a toolbox, your
Yeah.
own personal life experiences, and then you have like techniques that you use to help you get into character. Whether it's breathing, stretching, using your imagination, you know,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
like, oh my god. But Uta Hagen is like, I loved her book, Stella Adler. People should check her out. People should check out. Oh my gosh, like Meisner technique is a great one as well. There's just so many.
Yeah. Okay.
There's it.
So now
And
let's
people
go.
Google. Don't be afraid of Google, even if you can't afford to go to school. Because it's life, guys. It's not easy, hey?
Yeah.
But like Google, there's so much stuff you can find on Google. Don't be afraid to ask questions. When it comes to your technique and the business side of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely. Um. Okay. So now we're going to speak about Istunzi. Um.
Yeah.
A very, very great, brilliant production. How is it? I get so emotional talking about Istunzi because in my opinion, it is one of the greatest productions in South African television. Like
I
for
agree.
me,
I personally
for
agree with you,
me,
Nathan.
for me, like, and you said
I agree.
honestly, and you said in an interview about how the show was so great because there's so much talent in South Africa, and it took these actors that weren't so well known at the time, and you told the story and your talent just shined through. And I think that's also one of the things I loved about it. It was such a great story, brilliantly written. Amanda Lane, and I told her this the day I saw her. I was like, I like you're amazing. And then the actors as well. You guys brought it. It was so relatable. I could go on about this Tunzi, but yeah, how is that
I feel you.
experience?
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, how is that experience working on that production?
Yo, so I remember, right? It's Susie. I remember when I was auditioning for Tishiwe, I wasn't sure if I wanted the role, right?
Yeah,
I knew Amanda wanted me for it, but I looked at her story and everything she goes through, and I was like, can I do this? Am I ready to do this, right? And Amanda was like, yeah, I want you to do it, but I wasn't sure. And there was a guy in production, like, and
yeah,
we were like acquaintances or friends or whatever. And he was like, if you don't take this, it will be the biggest mistake of your life. You'd be a fool. You know? So I
yeah,
was like, I took, and I remember doing it. And it's Twinsie for me was, man, like everyone on set, not from the actors to the crew, like everyone put their A game, and it wasn't an easy production to shoot because of the the content that we were shooting, the opposition that this Toonsy was facing. Like it was facing oppositions from, I don't want to say too much because I don't know
yeah,
what I can say, but the show was facing
yeah,
opposition from channel, like in terms of the content and all that jazz.
yeah,
But it was worth it. It was worth everything. Like I learned so much from Amanda. I learned so much from my peers, people in production. It was difficult. It was challenging. It was everything, but it was just worth it. And yeah, yeah.
yeah.
You know?
When you auditioned for the show, did you feel like, did you know it was going to be that great? Did you, for any second, undermine it?
Normally what happens is when I audition for something, I read like the sides or the
Yeah,
storyline or whatever. Sometimes they give you the script, sometimes they don't. And it's like if I fall in love with the story, then I know that it's something that I want to be a part of. Like it's like you have an inkling before you even start shooting, and then when you meet your team, you're like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be amazing. I
yes,
didn't know that it was gonna be that successful, but I had expectations of it being that, just
yes,
because hope
yeah,
the best in anything to do.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Hmm.
I just
And
want to, sorry, I just want to clear something up. Akwanye is saying it's actually coming back. Is that true?
not from my understanding.
Okay,
No
girl,
one's called me. Maybe I don't have the replace to Shua. Maybe I don't know.
where are the auditions?
Maybe there's auditions for the new cast of his Tinsy. I don't know. I've been made aware. you
Okay,
know,
guys,
not as
we
far as
clear
I know.
that. No, as far as and I think that's another thing. Like just coming back to that, like the fact that it didn't go on.
Amanda! Is Amanda saying that? Who's saying that it's supposed to be coming back?
No, um,
Not Amanda.
it's
Oh, so there's another Amanda on set. But she's in production.
oh
There was
oh
two Amandas on the Tinsy set. One was production. She was amazing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, Rosie
Anyways,
said
I don't know.
they're playing season 1 from Monday, so maybe that's why they think it's coming back.
Oh, season one. Yeah, for those of you guys, please. I think it's on Showmax too. I don't know.
It is on
But
Showmax. Guys, please go watch it. It's really, I'm always telling people, like, go watch it. I've watched it, I've rewatched it twice now. That's just,
and you know what's so magical about it, Nadine, is the fact that Amanda wrote this Twinsie and it was based off of real life stories. Each girl, Tishiwa's character, each character, Songe, Winnie, like Rondi, everyone had their own
yeah,
backstory. You know what I mean? It was based off of like, because my character, there was a woman in a community who got burnt and they stoned her because she had gifts. She could
yeah,
sing and, you know, had the gift of sing, and her community thought it was witchcraft or whatever, and then they stoned her. So that's a
yeah,
real life thing. Nox's character gets sexually abused by her dad. Real life. Winnie's character, there was a girl who was really raped by 4 men. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean? That's a real thing. Londi, a young teenage girl who has a baby and has to fend for herself, and just like all those stories were real.
yeah,
And I think that you have a responsibility as an actor in a way because you're
yeah,
portraying real life stories, you know. So that's why it's important to like give it your everything, do the necessary research because you're telling other people's stories, things that maybe
yeah,
you've never experienced, and you don't want to like do an injustice to people's stories, you know.
yes, yeah,
So it's not like because I've had people ask me, Uber drivers being like, "Hey sisters, yeah, I wanna make extra money on the side. How's the acting thing?" And I'm like, "No, it's
no,
not. It's no, no. Like maybe go. I don't know. Go do something that doesn't like. No, acting doesn't work that way. It's a career. People pay so much money to go to drama school. People pay so much money to go to dance school and art school. It's so expensive. And then when you leave school, people don't want to pay you for your craft. People undermine what you do as
yeah,
artists, not as
yes,
actors, and it's not fair because this is a craft that people work so hard. Like on his tunes, bruh. Yo, like Yolanda, bruh. I remember there was a scene with her, and I froze while shooting a scene with her because
yeah,
she was there. I remember Zikana, dude, when she was bowling and talk and like, you know, acting, but like the camera was on her and we were just like she was feeding off of our energy. And you could feel the person's pain. So bruh,
yeah,
yo, dude,
yeah,
these
yeah. No, for
people,
like, yeah.
like, dude.
Yeah, no, and we got it at home too, because I remember just sitting there and watching it and just being in it. That's another. I felt like I was in. I was there. Like it was. I wasn't watching something. It was happening in front of my eyes. Like it's. I was part of it's stories that happen every day. Um.
Every day, bruh. And that's the heartbreaking part about it. Like I was with like females in South Africa, by women, or like it is what it is. Women go through a lot in South Africa. I'm not saying men don't, like femicide, like
Yeah.
it's a lot.
Yeah.
Femicide it's a thing. It's a problem. It's a problem. Yeah, it's a problem,
A big
and
one.
that's a problem. I don't want to talk. You know, I can talk too much,
No, no,
baby.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, no, but big ups to you guys for like playing that exceptionally well. You guys really embodied those characters, and we're so grateful. And I mean, it's sad that it came to an end, but I think sometimes you need to end something while it's still good.
Mm.
Um,
And when it ended, I think we also there was a lot of politics, as I said. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
the story didn't end because we couldn't act anymore because our writer lacked creativity. No, politics, unnecessary
yeah,
politics. And it's just like, but why? This is silly. Like, you know, South Africa, you don't understand how talented South Africans are. Even now, there's a show always trending. I'm not at home, but I know Uti
yeah.
Komora, like, it's driving me crazy. And I'm
Uh-huh.
not even there, and I'm not even watching it. But I know it must be good because South Africans are talking about it. You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah,
like, there's so much talent, and yeah, like, we need to, yeah.
yeah. No, I
Making
get
me
you.
sad.
I totally understand. I just want to
Mm.
ask you how you how can I say this? How you prepared for your role of Utishiwe, because having such a heavy storyline and also such
Mm-hmm.
a heavy story as Utishiwe the character, How
Mhm.
was that? How did you prepare for that? And also, how did you walk away from the show, um, leaving that emotion behind? Were you able to?
So, you know what? That's a good question. Um, so I could relate with Amanda for, I mean, not Amanda, with Tishiwe for so many reasons. It's like when Amanda gave me Tishiwe, it's like she knew something about my personal life, you know? Because and Amanda gets to know you, like before we shot this movie as well. Amanda, she didn't get paid for it, you know, she didn't have to do it, but because
Yeah,
the boss that she is, the extraordinaire that she
yeah,
is, she put in all the time she could, and she asked us, and like, can we do workshops together? So we did workshops as a cast. We
yeah,
did exercises with, you know, with our colleagues, and we just got to know our characters and the relationship between
mhm,
characters. You know, we did a lot of that in preparation. Um, and I also had to deal with my own personal things. Tishia has issues with her father. I don't have the best relationship with my biological father. Israel played my dad, which was amazing because I was just like, what? The orange is my father. Are you kidding me? Orange. I was like, no way, bro. I was like, oh my gosh. It was so exciting for me,
yeah,
you know? And so, because I had all those issues, I had like, you know, issues with my dad. And at the time I was shooting Miss Queensy, I was actually making amends with my father, which was
yeah,
so ironic. The timing was good. Tishia felt like an outcast. I mean, I talk about this a lot, but I did. You know, I grew up in England and I never felt like I belonged. And
yeah,
then when I'd visit home, I didn't feel like I belonged at home either because I'm not in touch with the culture and what's happening.
yeah,
But then when I go to England, I'm South African, I've got this accent that, you know, the British people don't really quite understand. And I'm like, I
yeah.
don't really know what to do. I didn't want to sound British at all. You
That's
know, because I was,
yeah,
you know, and then you know, it was hard for me to fit in. So Amanda, like, I think she's that, or Tishu already had that. And I just think that, I don't know, man. It just, I had to dig in. So it was like, before I like just go off on a
yeah,
tangent, exercises we did as a group, workshops that we did, my personal journey as a person. I had to come to terms with certain things about myself,
hmm,
and it was hard, you know. But
yeah.
also, Uta Hagen says this thing, right? Uta Hagen, read her book. She's an actress, and I think that's a actress as well. But she
Who?
has a
Sorry.
book called Respect for Acting. Uta Hagen.
Okay.
Utahagen. Uta Hagen. Read her book, Respect for Acting. Such a fantastic book, like fantastic. And she talked about substitution, right?
Yeah.
But before that, she says, if don't use anything from your personal life that you haven't dealt with. So let's say you haven't dealt with the passing of a friend.
Yeah.
Don't use that to get into character because you don't know you don't know what's gonna happen if you haven't like addressed something in your life and you're gonna use that to get into character like that. What if they say cut and you're
Yeah.
hyperventilating, you calm yourself down? So use things that we dealt with or currently dealing with, or you know that okay, I'll be fine even after cut.
Mm.
Because when I shot Iski, you know, I remember my character lost a baby. And in 2003, my mom lost our younger sister. I'll never forget. I was 10. Most heartbreaking thing. One of the most heartbreaking things I've ever gone through. And
Yeah.
for Iski, I called my mom and I was like, "Mommy, how is it like losing?" It's like and she was just like, "No, no, but she just said it's
Yeah.
just painful." And I got it and I understood and I had to tap into that pain. But after we said cut, right? I was still shaken up and I was like, yo, okay, I need to find a technique or a way of dealing with this because after cuts, I want to leave everything
Yeah.
on set. I don't want to take it with me at home. So there's different techniques that you can do, breathing, debriefing. There's a thing called
Yeah.
debriefing in drama that you can do.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? You're like, I don't want to take this with me because some of the things that as actors do, ooh, some of it is fun.
Yeah.
You know, it's not all sad and gloomy, but sometimes you have to come face to face with yourself, and that's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And okay, and then going on to another role that you played on Saint Agnes. Um, this is a
Oh,
show that's
yeah,
still
yeah. I like playing her. She was mean, and I loved it.
okay. Okay. I was just about to ask you experience. Okay. Okay, so Saint Agnes, also another like heavy story. I haven't
Mm-hmm.
watched it. I can't access
It's on
it.
Showmax. Can you get
I
Showmax?
can't.
I know you're
I
based in the
can't.
States, yeah?
Yes, I can't. And I'm
I
so
boom, yeah. Sorry.
yeah, but I'll watch it hopefully when I go back home. But yeah,
Oh, but you know what? You can't watch it. Even my family couldn't watch it here in the UK. I think, from my understanding, I think the production company is trying to sell it like everywhere. So
uh-huh.
because of that, I think only South Africans can watch it on Showmax. I think because
I mean, I'll
Nami, my
stream it
mom,
on
couldn't
other
watch
sites, but yeah, it's also one of like a great show with a great storyline. And I actually thought it was international, and then Google's like, no, just because of the quality, you would think it's
Lale, like hell.
international.
Shout out to Sid. Listen,
Shut
like let me
up.
tell you something.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
No, bruh. Go from St. Agnes, yeah? Oh, sorry, what was your question?
No, it's okay.
Yes.
No, it's okay. It's your platform. Go ahead.
Um, I loved Girl from St. Agnes. Firstly, we had female directors, Cindy Lee, Catherine Cook, shout out, and they are so badass, so great, so passionate at what they do. I loved working. I love working with female directors. I don't mean to discriminate with my brothers, you know, but there's just a way that female directors, I don't know, it's like they understand me, you know, they just know how to, I don't know, it's like, I mean, there's some amazing male directors I've worked with, but like, I don't know, like female directors, like, they make it easy. Anyways, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a woman thing. But Girl from St. Agnes, I remember, like, firstly, the cast. Every time you meet people that have been acting for a long time, it was like, oh my god, oh, you're working with directors like Cindy Lee and Catherine Cook, people who have get nervous, you know what I mean? Because you're working with, you know, bitch,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
Huh?
So you get a bit scared and nervous. But again, it was just amazing, and I met new friends. Celeste is another girl that Celeste played Celeste. Man, you guys know Celeste. She was
Yes,
also on there. She was one of the kids as well, and it was great. I just had a good time just learning. It was because it was mostly it wasn't people that I was used to working with. You know what
yeah.
I mean? It was a different type of people, different crew and stuff like that. But you know, make from makeup, you know, I just had a good time, and the professionalism was there. It was a space where I could ask questions. Yeah,
Yeah.
it was good, man. It was good.
Now going back to your character, which you had so much fun playing, you play this bully or this girl that
Boy,
is
Bonnie!
yes. And in an interview you mentioned that you know what it's like to be bullied. You've gone through that. How is it
Yeah.
to how is it to be on the other side of the abuse this time?
Oh, do you know what it is? There's a saying in life that says, hurt people hurt people. You know what I mean? Again, I had to do this thing. I can't judge this character. Yes, she's a bully. Yes, she's mean. But you know what I mean? I think, first of all, she's in an environment where she's the only black girl in school. And let me tell you something, when you're in a school, predominantly, well, this is my experience because in England, when I first moved to England, even though I'm light skinned, you know what I mean? People didn't say, yo, na yellow bone. They just saw a girl with coily hair, with big lips, with
Yeah.
a thick nose, and they picked on me for that. They picked on me for being black. They said, I
Yeah.
remember I had braids, and there was this one boy who was like, how long did it take for you to do your hair? And I was like, because at the time, my cousin used to take forever to do my hair. And I was like, it took like 10 hours because she was doing braids and it would take forever. She, you know, she would
Yeah.
take her time. And then there was this other girl, Paris. I remember she had straight brunette hair, umlungu. And she
Mm.
was like, no, it took me 45 minutes to straighten my hair. And then he said, you took lesser time to get your hair done, but your hair looks better than hers. Talking about me. I used to
Wow.
get picked on for my blackness. And I was like, that's not fair. Like, I used to
Mm.
get picked on just for the fact that I was from South Africa. I sounded different and I looked different, you know? So with Mabonye, what I did was I was like, okay, so she's a girl. She's the only black girl in his school. She's around white
Yeah.
people. So, and racism is a real thing. It's a thing. and she deals with it. So I was just like, okay, so she's just defensive, you know? And defense is not cute, you know, because you can come across as mean and like, you know.
Yeah.
But that's where she's coming from. She doesn't want to be bullied, you know. She's like, you know what I mean? So that's how I approached the Mbonya thing. Is like, nah. Because with me, I was just bullied. And I was like, okay. But with her, she's just like, no, I'm black and I'm proud. I'm here with my short hair, with my 4C hair texture, you know, with my rounded lips, and I don't care. If anyone has something to say, fight me, I'll fight you. You know, that's who she is. And I embraced it and I enjoyed that. But I also learned that it's important to deal with your pain because it's not nice to be mean. You know, she taught me a lot. Yeah. I'm like, just, we need to deal with our issues because it comes out in a different way. People just see a bitch, excuse my language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like, there's a story behind. Like, everyone is going through something. You know?
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
feel like playing her, the bully, do you feel like it made you understand the people that bullied you a bit more?
Yeah, it did help me understand, but yeah, it did. Acting helps me to be more empathetic. I think for any actors that are out there, I think learn empathy.
Mm.
Like, it's important, even if like you don't understand why a person does the things that they do. Try put yourself in their shoes. I think it will make you a better actor. Do you know what I mean? Even if you're not empathetic normally, but just try. You'll be
Yeah.
surprised like what you learn.
Yeah, definitely. I would never
Mm.
say that you were, I mean, we never know who was bullied or who went through what
Mm.
when they were younger. But I'm just, because I'm reading Boosie's comment here saying, I love your energy. And yeah, you're so vibrant and bubbly. Have you
Yeah.
always been like this? Or do you feel like maybe you started to find your voice as you grew?
My cousin has this joke. My cousin Umobile, she's like to me, because when I used to get bullied, I was very quiet in school. But when I'd come home, I'd be flamboyant. Yeah, papa. I'd say, why not papa school? Why papa like
Yeah.
You know, that's because I got bullied. So you get scared to even be yourself. You just sort of want
Yeah.
to hide. You know what I mean? I've always been flamboyant and whatever, but I've just learned with time. I've learned to embrace who I am. I don't need other people's validation. You know, God's validation. They tell you that, you know, you need us, actors need producers. They tell you you're not pretty enough. They tell you you're a bad actress. People just say whatever. You know what I mean? And then I was like, I just can't allow myself to be defined by other people's opinions. God has validated you. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, God, I believe in God. Do you know what I mean? I'm a Christian. I love Jesus. You know what I'm saying? I'm not perfect. I'm really not
Amen.
perfect. But God is working on me. but
Yeah.
like but no, you can't, because if you listen to other people's opinions of yourself, you won't go anywhere. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
right now, I'm watching documentaries. I'm watching The Last Dance on Netflix. I'm watching Becoming. I'm watching these documentaries where
Yeah.
these iconic figures that we love and look up to went through a lot. People try to bring them down, like they doubted themselves. But you need to know who you are and own it. And you don't have to be apologetic for how you look, for whatever, you know, who you are. You
You
are who
are.
you are. Like,
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
so powerful. Thank you. Wow. Wow. Okay. So you mentioned that you read a lot of books. Is there anything else
No,
that you
I try.
oh you
My
try?
reading skills are very bad. But you know, because even with the books that I've read, it was my agent, Wesley, at the time. He'd always be like, read this book, do this. You know, and I was like, you're
Yeah.
right. Because in university, I was this last minute person. Yo, the essay is due tomorrow. And then me and my friends would do all nighters. I was that student.
Yeah.
It was after university, funny enough, that I learned the importance of reading. It's
Yeah.
important.
It is important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, but is there anything else that you do to work on your craft to develop your skills?
Hmm. I have conversations with myself. Because, you know, as an actress or an actor, I know some people, I don't know, some females prefer to be called actors. Some people prefer to be called actresses. I'm an actress. I don't mind being called an
Yeah.
actress. I'm a female actress. I love being
Yeah.
feminine. I'm a female. I'm proud. You know?
Yeah.
um, But oh my gosh, I've diverted. Say your question again.
Is there anything else that you do to work on your craft to
Oh,
develop skills?
sorry. I just remembered.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you use yourself. I think internal conversations, like I think allow yourself to experience life. You know, like sometimes maybe you play a character that's jealous and sneaky and manipulative. For example, Nadine, I don't know. You might get a brief. That might not be who you are,
Yeah.
but I realize that I wouldn't say that I'm a jealous, manipulative person as a whole. You know what I'm saying? But there are moments where I felt jealousy. There's moments where I've manipulated. There's
Yeah.
moments where you do certain things. I'm not a murderer, but when I see a cockroach, I will kill it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
that anger and that disgust, you know what I mean? Just being aware of yourself as a person, like, what makes you sad, what makes you happy, um, what makes you jealous, what makes you scared,
Yeah.
what makes you happy, what makes you excited. Identify with all these different emotions that you go through as a human being. Acknowledge it. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, okay, this is what I'm going through. I don't like the fact that I'm angry or I've got anger issues, but what does that feel like? Let me deal with it. And I've dealt with it, and then maybe I'll play a character with anger issues. I'll be able to use myself as a point of reference, because
Yeah.
even when you go for auditions, like, you don't have, most of the times, like, you don't have a script, you don't know much about the character, so the best thing for you to do is to use yourself
Mhm.
as like as a point of reference. So
Yeah.
yeah, just be with yourself. Sounds very yoga like, but yeah.
Oh no, it's yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna open it up to the floor. If anybody has questions, you guys can ask. I know there's been quite a few people asking. Someone actually asked how you learned Zulu, but I think you said your mom is Zulu, right?
Yeah, my mom Zulu. So basically, I can tell you a story about my Zulu.
Okay.
So I grew up in Johannesburg and Alberton. So my mom is Zulu, but like every time we would go to KZN Durban, my family, I've got umdenwami, enanda, machacha, whatever. But every time we'd go to Durban, we was squara. But yini mara, yini mara. Like my
Oh,
Zulu was
Mara,
like,
yeah.
"Hindi Mara, nangabo Mara." And so basically, when I came back to South Africa, I hung around with my cousin Osanele, and I'm like, I need to brush up on my Zulu because I want to get roles.
Yeah.
And so he helped me brush up. I still need to work on it a bit more, but like, because I have Joburg, I speak Zulu like people from Joburg, and
Mhm.
that's not that's not it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
I feel you, girl. Okay. And then did you I heard an accent. You made an accent earlier on. How did you live in England for so many years and still keep your South African accent?
My tongue is very weird because sometimes when I talk to my friends, when I talk to my sister, actually, sometimes my British accent will come out. It will just come out a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm just like, what's going on? I don't really talk like this normally. What is it? I don't know. But sometimes it just comes out,
Yeah.
because I grew up here and I'm familiar with the culture and everything. But even my British friends are like, no, your accent's not really British. It's a mixture. It's a
Yeah.
mixed masala, predominantly South African, just because I didn't like England when I was young. Not I love England now, but when I was a kid, I was like, I don't want to sound like them. So I made it a point not to have a British
Oh,
accent.
yeah.
But like it comes out sometimes.
Okay.
Mm.
So people are asking, um, I saw a question up here. Whew. So someone asked, what is your advice for someone like me who has no experience but wants to get into the acting industry? What would you say should be the first step?
Practice self tapes, guys. I think now we live in a time where social media is like, listen, the internet is great. Practice self tapes. Familiarize yourself with what self taping is like. Read books. Let me tell you something. If you walk into a room and a casting director sees you and you have nothing on your CV, but you are able to captivate them with your performance, that will, like, even if you don't get the job, like, just walking in a room and auditioning is
Yeah.
not it's not for nothing. So I
Mhm.
would say don't worry about all of that. You know what I mean? Don't stress yourself. Just work on your craft. Read a lot, practice a lot, practice self-taping. Yeah, and then just work on your craft, and then let your work speak for itself when you go into that room. So it's like, okay, fine, I don't have the experience, but have you seen me do my thing? Like, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I think our network is okay. So Patu had asked before, how important is it to have an agent, and how do you know if they're legit? This is a common question.